Hey guys, so what I'm gonna talk about today is how I dealt with alopecia and how the things that I did to help with my alopecia and the hairstyles and my story and about alopecia. That's just basically it, yeah. So that's all I'm gonna be talking about. It's just kind of, you guys are just gonna see me doing my hair. So I hope you don't mind, and I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you guys like this video, and leave some comments if you have any questions or anything. Alright, bye guys. Yeah, I think that'll be best. I look like shit right now. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell my story. So, I don't have a good spot, but I don't have any of that techie stuff that other YouTubers have. That might be good. Okay. That seems good. Okay, so I am a student at San Francisco State University. I've been living here for almost 5 years now. I originally was living in Kings Beach, California, near Tahoe. Anyway, so what I'm trying to get to is trying to tell you guys my story on how I suffered from alopecia. So what happened was, well, I don't really know what happened. It just started happening from one day to another. So basically around October, November, maybe September, I started getting really itchy around my scalp, and I didn't know what it was. I thought I just had dandruff, because at first I did have a lot of dandruff. I don't know if that kind of made it happened quicker or what it was, but anyway, so I had dandruff. I would always have my hair in a bun, so all you would see with me was with my hair in a bun. I didn't really want to put my hair down at all. I don't know, I was just going through this really weird phase. I was suffering from anxiety and starting to suffer from depression and stuff like that, so I just didn't really ever get ready. So my hair was always in a bun, right? So I had changed shampoos, and I started noticing that, like, I was really itchy around my scalp area, just mainly up here. And I would itch and itch and itch, and then maybe around, that was like 2 months, and then maybe around October was when I was in the bathroom, and I was sitting on the toilet, and my boyfriend's like in there with me, and he tells me, it's like, hey, like, are you going bald? And I was like, no, like, get your hand out of my head, you know, like, I'm not bald, like, what are you talking about? Like, that's fucked up, right? So anyways, we just leave it at there. And then I kind of like start touching around it, and I was just like, kind of whatever. And then maybe a month later, my friend that I have been at school told me if I could let her do a trial run, because she had just recently started dyeing hair and stuff like that on my hair, and let her dye my hair and give me like an ombre, because my hair was really, really long, like super long, not super duper long like Instagram models, you know, long like that, but like a really good length. So after that, I went in and she dyed my hair, and she didn't tell me anything about my hair like missing up here, and it was a pretty good chunk at that time of, like, for her to have noticed, or maybe I didn't have any hair there yet. So she bleached my hair, because she was just giving me like an ombre effect on my hair, and she does that, and I go home and whatever. I liked it at first, and then I didn't like it so much, and then that, I think like a couple of days later, was when my boyfriend like fully noticed that, like, I was just missing a big chunk of my hair, like right up like my crown right here, just like just maybe like not that big. It was like a dime size at that time. So I'm like, oh, like maybe it happened because of the bleach, you know, like it just kind of like probably damaged my hair. So then I was like, oh, it'll probably grow back. So I start letting it kind of like grow back, and then I didn't end up liking what I had done to my hair, so I dye it back, right, the same color. And like weeks are going, like a week or two are going back and stuff by and stuff like that, and I keep checking up on my hair, and I keep asking my boyfriend, like, hey, is it looking better? And he's like, yeah, it's looking better. And I don't bother to really take pictures at that time because I didn't think it was a problem. So then I go back home because, mind you, I'm still in school during all this time. And I show my mom, and my mom's like, oh my god, that's like really bad, maybe you should go see a doctor. I'm like, no, like it's fine, like my hair will grow back. So then my sister is like jokingly like messing around with me, and she's all like, oh, maybe you have alopecia. And I was like, what is that? Like, I wasn't aware at the time what it was. And like she tells me, and I'm like, nah, like you're dumb, like nobody in our family has it. So I kind of like just shrugged that off. And then with a couple of more weeks go by, and I think we're in November now for sure. And I noticed like a big piece of hair, just like, not a big piece, a big bald spot on my head. Like it's probably like literally like this big, and like it's like not in a circle form but almost like a circle. And then I told my mom about it, and she's like, you should really go get that checked. And I was like, no, like it doesn't matter. During that time in November, some really like tragic stuff happened in my family. My dad ended up getting like his heart was starting to fail, so we had to go to the hospital. I was still in school at the time, but I didn't know how to deal with it all. And it's like, I have always been my parents and family's backbone in the family, so a lot of stress was put on me during that time. And during that time, I noticed that more and more hair was missing from my head, and I really didn't know what to do. And I would just cover my head, like I would put my hair up in a bun even more, which I think caused it to get even worse because I was putting so much tension on my head. And then as I think December came around and I was still in school, I ended up withdrawing from most of my classes. And that's kind of how I thought I was dealing with it, trying to get some stress off of me. And then since my dad was in the hospital, he had to pull out from work. He had to leave work because of his heart. And I had to start working, and my parents were helping me a lot with rent money and stuff like that whenever I needed. So my dad not working during that time really, really was stressful on me because I had to come up with, I think, about $1,000 in less than half a month all to myself. So that way I can pay for my living in San Francisco. So I, I'm like talking to my boyfriend. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And he just tells me like about this job. It was Instacart at the time. And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. Like I should totally apply with it and see like what happens, because I need a quick job. Like I need something fast. It can't be like, oh, you need to go through a job interview. You need to go through training and stuff like that. Like I need money like quick. And mind you, I didn't have a car at this time or anything, So I'm like, well, what do I do? Like, I can do Uber, but I can't do it because I don't have a car. And I don't have, like, a California license. I have a Nevada license. Like, all this stuff is just going through my head, So time keeps going by. And I ended up doing the Instacart thing. So I ended up coming with the money right on time, And then we had also like, never mind, that doesn't matter. And then what happens after that was I end up getting all that money, and then January comes around and my mom's all like, okay, Jocelyn, like, enough's enough. Like, because I go back home, like, I think for a week once into January. So my mom's like, that's enough. Like, you need to go see a doctor. So then I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll go see a doctor. So I decided to go to the school doctor because the school offers, like, health services for its students. So then the doctor at school is telling me that, like, I just have a fungus and that it's nothing crazy, that I should just use this special shampoo she gave me. And I started using it. And it like kind of helped the itching go away from my scalp. I don't know if it was just like all in my head, you know, the itching. So then she's all like, okay, but like I can't just tell you that it's fungus, you know, it's just like there might be something more. So it's like you really need to go see a doctor. So I made an appointment with my doctor. I go to my doctor's, and then he's all like, oh, you have alopecia. And I was like, no, I don't. So I didn't say that to him, you know, but I was like thinking in my head, like, no, you're crazy. Like, I don't have alopecia. Like, why is everybody telling me this? So then he gives me a referral to the doctor, and I make an appointment with the dermatologist. And I'm like, well, let's see what goes on here. Like, there might be something else, you know? Like, the dermatologist will know more because it's like it has to deal with skin and what's going on with me, you know? So I go in there, and she literally, like, I think that was like maybe like 2 days later, she's all like, oh, you have alopecia. And I'm just like, it's really hard for me to like be like, yeah, I do have alopecia, you know, because it's like I didn't know what it was. So she kept explaining to me how alopecia kind of just deals with how your own immune system is attacking your hair follicle. So it's not, it's just happens sometimes to people. Like there's no really reason why it happens. It just kind of happens. So I was kind of confused. I was like, all right, so I guess I do have alopecia. And at that time, I was doing a lot of traveling. Like in February, I was going to go to London and Paris, and then in March, I was going to go to Mexico. So I had this like big bald spot just like right here, like maybe like literally like big, like that big. And it was just growing and growing and growing, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I would have to try to find a way where I wouldn't show it. So at the beginning, a lot of the time, what I was doing, I would part my hair right through the side and then flip it, so it's just a side part, and it would cover it, right? Because it's like it was down here, like it was up here, it wasn't like on the sides. So that was one thing I would do. And then the other thing I would do would be I would part my hair just like right through here, and then just do 2 braids down, and then let the hair flow down, so that way the crown of my head wouldn't show. So then that's what I was doing at the time. So my dermatologist was like, oh, you're getting very creative with what you're doing with your hair, you know. And all the other thing I would do is put it up in a bun. But she told me, my dermatologist, that it would be best if I try not to put so much tension on that part of my head while that hair was growing out. So what she ended up doing with me was injecting, kind of, I guess she said it was kind of a steroid for my hair, my scalp, so that it would kind of like bump up the process for it. And I think I want to go get shots with her like 3-4 times. And after that, my hair started recording. But anyways, what I was saying, like now, like I have like this much hair that has grown out. Like that's quite a length to me. Like that has made me so happy. Like I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is. Like going from like completely bald right there on that crown area to having that length of hair has really like changed how I felt. Like I was already so stressed out and just going through so much. Like I had thoughts of suicide. Like I was just going through so much. Like I didn't even know what was going on with me. So those, like, that really just helped me out. But what I'm trying to get is just trying to tell you guys my story and how I was dealing with it and what I went through, and how I'm doing okay now, and how I really, really have been, ever since like all of that happened, been trying to be able to handle much more well my stress and any of my anxiety. Like I really, really try hard not to get so anxious, and just try to feel good about what I'm doing, and try not to overthink, because I overthink everything. Like literally everything. And I think that had to do a lot with like my stress, my anxiety levels, and my depression coming into play a lot during the my alopecia moment. And I know alopecia doesn't go away, like I know this, like, but I am trying my best to make it not come back and try not to stress out. And it happens from time to time, you know, like I'll stress out and I'm like, no, 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 don't do it. Like, you don't want to go through that same thing again. But just for anyone dealing with it, like, a lot of the things I did was, for instance, my dermatologist really recommended Rogaine. She said that that would really probably help it, since we were seeing hair growth within my hair. And just so you guys know, like, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you guys what I did that really helped me, you know, because what helped me might be able to help you. So, and that's good, you know, like I would really want people to benefit from what I did. But yeah, so now I'm just okay, guys. So this is what I ended up doing with my hair. And remember how I told you guys I had those really big like pieces of hair still? Like, here's one of them right here, the little pieces of hair that are still growing out. So what I usually do now is I'll clip in an extension just right there, and then I don't know if you guys could see it, you might not, but and then I just cover it up with my hair, and it just blends right in, and not as much hair sticks out. But yeah, which is what I ended up doing.